This is One on One. We are here with Pasi Sahlberg, who is a keynote speaker here at the NJEA convention. He's the author of Finnish Lessons, What Can the World Learn from Educational Change in Finland? It is an honor to have you. How are you liking Atlantic City so far?
Well, this is my first time in this city, and I came here last night, so I saw all the lights. It looks beautiful. I haven't seen the boardwalk that everybody's talking about, but I'm enjoying my time.
Well, it's an honor to have you here with us at the NJEA convention. Pasi has been speaking about, spoke today, this morning, to thousands of NJEA conventioneers about Finnish education. I have to ask you, at the core, what would you say some of the most significant Finnish lessons are that the rest of us need to learn about education?
I think probably on the top of my head is the importance of equity in education, and this people often misunderstand what equity means. In Finland, it means that we want to have a school system that is good and great for everybody, every child. So we try to design the school system so that particularly those children who come from homes where the circumstances and situations are not so favorable for learning would have an opportunity to be successful in the school. And these school systems look very different compared to many of the schools, school systems here in the United States, where the excellence and quality seems to be driving the work of the school. So I think this equity in education is one of those things. And secondly, obviously, how do we define teaching profession? How do we understand the work of teachers?
How's it different?
Well, in Finland, we perceive our teachers a little bit like you do your medical doctors and lawyers, in terms of providing them a high-quality academic, research-based education. We are not allowing any alternative pathways, training programs into teaching. There's only one academic university-based program, just like you have for your medical doctors and lawyers. And that's why I think we probably have much more professional unity in Finland among our teachers and educational leaders than you have here in America.
But there's more than that. I mean, as I read about your work, you also say that there's an issue about testing. Talk about this and the differences in terms of, in Finland, how student testing plays out and how you perceive it to be played out in the United States.
Yeah, this is a common question about the student assessment and standardized testing, particularly in my country. I'm often telling people that we are not having standardized testing at all, actually. We only have one standardized examination at the very end of the high school when our students are already 18 or 19 years old. So the question is that, so how do we assess, evaluate what the students are doing?
How do you?
Well, we trust our teachers pretty much, just like you trust most of your medical doctors and some of your lawyers, that you don't go and question the quality of their work. So we trust that the teachers are the best people who are able to tell and report how the kids are learning. And then we have the sample-based way of reporting and answering our legislators, our members of the parliament, when they want to know whether the taxpayers' money is well spent. So it's just a little bit like your NAEP, your national assessments here in the United States, where we take samples of schools and kids and then evaluate those things. You know, I can tell you one thing that makes me always kind of a surprise here in your great country, and it is that how central place standardized testing has been given and that it is right now in the United States.
What's the downside of that, Pasi?
There are many downsides there. I think probably the most critical one is that it's really taking too much time away from children from learning and too much time from teachers to teach. I hear when I walk around this convention here, people tell me that they spend up to 1/3 of the school year on teaching the testing or testing related issues here, and I think just a stupid that you are spending so much time on collecting data and testing kids when they should be learning something. In Finland, on the other hand, we are spending no time for standardized testing, so we can allocate this 100% of the schedule that we have for teachers and students to learning things. But just think about if you lose 1/3 of your school year for something that has nothing or very little to do with learning, it's no wonder that the learning outcomes and achievement is not at the level where you want it to be.
Pasi, I want to follow up on that. What evidence is there that students in Finland later on achieve more, have more successful lives, their quality of their lives are better? Talk about that.
Well, it's a great question. How
does one measure that?
Yeah, well, and this gets back to the question of what is the purpose of education.
Absolutely.
And that's why, because in Finland we do not believe that the main purpose of education is to have high test scores and measure the academic or part of the academic achievement only. I think the purpose of education is to individual fulfillment, that people can be happy and discover who they are, what they want to do, and also in Finland that the whole nation, the public, will benefit from education. That's why we call it a public education in Finland. But if you take a look at some of the other international indicators where Finland and America, United States, and many other countries are taking part. For example, take a look at the happiness, how happy people are. Finland is continuously scored as one of the happiest nations, happiest people in the world. Or you may take a look at the economic competitiveness, where United States and Finland are compared. Finland has been continuously during the last 15 years one of the most economically competitive nations. We are number one in innovation and technology around the world. So I think these probably don't kind of suggest that this is all because of education, but they certainly speak about the kind of overall good performance that Finland has, and education certainly has a big role to play in that.
You're not implying that those of us in New Jersey are not happy enough, are you?
No, New Jersey people seem to be very happy.
We're different, right?
You're different, but you look like a happy folks.
Yeah, a couple more minutes that we have here. I want to make sure we take advantage of this. At this convention, you see thousands of educators and others connected to the world of education. What do you sense about educators in this state from your time, not just as a keynote speaker, but just walking the floor of this convention hall?
Well, I meet many people asking questions, and they probably ask questions when they know that I come from a very different culture, and many people are asking, is there any hope here?
Is there?
Is there any hope? Yeah,
we want to know. Is there?
No, I think you have more hope than any other country other than Finland has in education, because many of these ideas that we have used, or Canadians have used, or Singaporeans or Chinese have used when they have been building these school systems and education systems that are now outperforming United States, are American ideas.
Well, hold on. Pasi's saying that a lot of the things that are working in Finland were our ideas to begin with?
No, I'm not only saying that, but I'm saying that if you don't believe that the American educational innovations are good enough for America, just come and see Finland, and I can show you how American ideas and innovation in education work in a large scale. So that's where the hope comes from, that you have all these elements, you have all these ideas, you even have all these people and research in this country that can make your education system perform much, much better than it does. So that's what, if you were depending on educational ideas and innovations and methods and models, just like we had been, or Singaporeans have been during the course of the last 20, 30 years, then you would be in trouble. But you have everything here. And you have the money, you have the resources here that you spend in education. You already spend more in education than we do, or many other countries do. So, if you were poor, that you had the problem was that you don't have money to do these things, then I think then we would be speaking about lack of hope and a problem. You guys have everything here. Just
you got great people too.
Yeah, you have great people, and you have this, the thing that we do not have. America has this can-do mentality, that if you really want to if you want to send a man to the moon, you can do that. If you want to change the school system and thinking how people think about education and public education, you can do that. So now the question is, are your politicians and authorities and those people who have the power able to change the way they think? That I don't know.
Thank you so much, Pasi. You honor us by your speech, your time, and your commitment to education. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, Activists in cooperation with the American Medicine Chess Challenge, Steve and Elaine Pazicki, United Water, MagnaCare, and by Johnson & Johnson. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.